Hey guys, great to see you. We are here and we are live. I'm working on getting us up and running on Instagram. Please let us know where you're chiming in from, and we will be right back. Hey guys, this is Bren with Warrior Moms by Bren. I'm working on getting us on 3 different platforms. I would love to know where you're chiming in from in the chat, and we will get started here in about 5 seconds. I am so glad you are here. And forgive me, I'm looking at multiple screens. I just want to make sure I get everyone on board. My name is Bren Harris. And I founded Warrior Moms by Bren when my son was medically injured at 22 months of age. He was just a baby. And now I'm helping other women take back their power and embrace medical freedom so they can make more informed choices. Now, when I say my son's now a teenager, he towers over me. When I say we have walked through hell, now we walk through it like we own the place, not lying. We go back now and help others in the fire, take water back to others in the fire so that we can bring them along the journey of healing also. Now, what do I mean by medically injured? We're talking about a number of things, but right now we're talking about informed consent and a thing that you won't hear mainstream media talk about, and that is immunization or vaccine shed. Yes, they shed. And I have been using my glasses because I'm reading 2-point font on all of these inserts, and we will dive right into this. I know your time is valuable. Again, let us know where you're chiming in from. If you threw a dart at the middle of the U.S., if you threw a dart at the middle of the US, I would be right there. And Instagram, if you can see me, I just clicked go live. And we're on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. And I would love for you to share this with someone. If this doesn't apply to your family, thank goodness. But if you know a family that might be able to benefit from informed consent and knowing what I didn't know 17 years ago when the people in the white coats were saying you need to do X, Y, and Z, or you can't be here, or I'm going to kick you out of my practice. Well, that's BS. These physicians get incentivized to give all of these immunizations. There, I said it. And yes, we are the Warrior Nation, your source for truth, transparency, and trust. And we are very quick to correct anything that we are saying that isn't backed up with proven data. And I want to tell you, I had no idea about immunization shed when my son was a baby in a military hospital in Japan. I didn't get a lot of choices. That it was you don't get a birth plan. There's no such thing as midwives on the military base or a birthing centers or anything. And now my son is diagnosed autism spectrum disorder, level 3, nonverbal, theoretically lifelong care. Hey guys, Oklahoma in the house. Good to see you. And Georgia. Seattle in the house. Good to see you guys. I'm so glad you are here. Now, I am not one to waste your time. I'm busy. I know you're busy. And I want you to know this is sometimes really hard to talk about. And this is not something that anyone will volunteer. So let me show you my why. His name is Zach. There he is on one of our medical trips. We have spent over 7 figures and at 10,000 hours getting him detoxed. We did not know that he has a genetic marker that does not allow him to convert folic acid, which is the synthetic form of folate and what everyone markets and all of these vitamins we see over the counter. He can't convert it to folate. So he is vitamin B low deficiency. And that's critical for babies when they're developing all those neural pathways. Now, we have steadily and consistently over the last 10 years or so, been able to detox. I won't claim to have all the answers, but I'm telling you, it's a hard fought battle and a really intense battle that we feel like we are finally winning as we get more information and more data points. Now, if I sound a little stopped up, I made the mistake of going out in a massive windstorm to bring the trash cans in. That was not my smartest move. And it is, oh my gosh, if you hear any noise in the background or you wonder why I'm in a different setting, it's because it's complete chaos outside. And I think cows might be flying through the air like the old movie Twisters. And we are in a windstorm, and it is not pretty. So my office is right there where everything's hitting the bay windows. And tonight, I am so glad you're here. I don't believe it's an accident. I believe you are here for such a time as this. And I am so glad that I get to share this journey with you. Now, hear my heart. We are a warrior mom army. And our organization, our movement is called the Warrior Nation. And why is that? Because we are fighting for the health of our children based on all of the mandates that seem to be required from pediatricians as well as schools, sometimes even churches. And we'll talk about that in another episode. But right now, tonight, we're talking about what's vaccine shed. What nobody's ever told me about that. I didn't know about it either. So we're going to start with a very basic definition. And this is a camera-rich environment. Please feel free to take a screenshot. What is vaccine shed? Vaccine shedding is when components of a vaccine are released into the body or out into the environment. This can only happen in live attenuated vaccines that contain a weakened form of a pathogen. Now, what is all that medical speak? It means there's a handful of vaccines that are actually live versions, a weakened live version of the actual pathogen. And because it's in the news and everyone's talking about measles, I thought I would just pick one. Now, I will show you a list. This is not a comprehensive list, but I will show you one. And it's usually section 5 or 6 in that tiny little 2-point font in the massive, 12-fold insert inside the vaccines, where you find that in section 5, 6, or 7, they'll say warnings. Well, they'll say precautions. And you can look and see what it tells you to do. Now, we're going to get right into this because I know your time is valuable. Here's just a short list. This is not all of them. Measles, mumps, rubella, a combined vaccine. It is not possible to get those separated. And that is because we're following the money, of course. It makes more money to have them combined. And then we have rotavirus, smallpox, chickenpox, and yellow fever. Each of those has a live attenuated, which means a weakened form of the pathogen, in theory, to help our bodies build up resistance. Now, what happens when Susie goes and gets the MMR, the measles, mumps, rubella vaccine? And please check out the other videos. On February 11th, the city of Lubbock, love y'all, I'm sorry this happened, had a free vaccine clinic. And, hundreds of people got the MMR, measles, mumps, rubella, and it has multiple forms of live vaccines in that. Once people left the free clinic, they went out into their respective families and businesses and student peers, as well as their friends and their church community, and shed the live vaccine. I know, it's crazy. No one talks about this. And what that means is that we're just sharing it. Like if I have a cough and I'm contagious and I cough and you're in my area, that means you're probably going to be exposed to whatever I'm coughing, even when I cover my cough. Now, I did not believe this at all until I experienced myself. Now, remember my why. He is now towering over me as a teenager, and he is a big guy. We were around someone who had recently been vaccinated, and both were ill for over 7 days. Now, why are people not talking about this? Because if people start questioning or actually reading the inserts, like yours truly and my trusty glasses, reading that 2-point font is the least fun thing I think I've done in a while. Then people are going to start pushing back and asking questions. And not everybody wants that to happen. So I know I gave you a short list of all those vaccines that have the live vaccine. They call it live attenuated because it's a weakened form of the very pathogen for which you're receiving the shot. Okay. And we're just going to talk about the MMR. The MMR, measles, mumps, rubella vaccine, is prepared with weakened live viruses. People with certain medical conditions or severe allergies may not be able to take the MMR vaccine. No one in a white coat, no one at the school telling us you need these exact vaccines or you're not getting in the building. No one talks about this. Some people have allergic reactions. Some people end up with autism. Some people end up with neurological Bell's palsy or a tremor or Parkinson's. I mean, it's a number of things that happen when, hey guys, Florida in the house. Good to see you guys. Welcome. If you can get value, please put value in the chat or you can relate. If you're on the live, put an L. And we do use American Sign Language. That's how my son learns new words. If you're on the replay, put an R. And our American Sign Language for this evening is take back your power. And we do that through information and scientific data, not emotions and being irrational. Okay. So the sign tonight is take, just like you're picking something up, like you're grabbing something off of someone's plate. Like, your husband or your wife has something you want and you just want a little bite, but you don't want to order a whole meal. You get it? Okay. So take, and then we're going to power. We're going to just scoop up like we're scooping up. It's very similar to empower, make stronger, more confident. So we're taking back our power and we're embracing medical choices and freedom. If this doesn't apply to you, please share it with someone because as of this recording, on March 4th, 2025, boys are 1 in 24 for autism spectrum disorder. Hey guys, 20 years ago, that was 1 in 10,000. If that's not a pandemic, I don't know what is. And I will not be silent. And we are a mom army that is ready to storm the gates because we're the ones picking up the damage and the shattered lives. And I am here to say, I see you, Mom. You're not crazy and you're not alone. And we're here to support you. Now, if you're just joining us, we're talking about The Warrior Nation, your source for truth, transparency, and trust. This has been a politicized issue. We are here to say, let's get informed about it. Now, we are talking about vaccine shed, and that's when a live vaccine shares its brotherly love with others around us. And that's exactly what happened in Lubbock, Texas last month. They had a free vaccine clinic on February 11th. And the 2 weeks following that, the poor Mennonite community children who do not choose to vaccinate were subject to that shed. Now, one child has passed. Just to be clear, what we know so far, and I will do an update if we find out different information. She was school age. She was in the hospital for RSV and pneumonia. I've heard double pneumonia. The parents asked repeatedly, up to 4 times, for specific breathing treatment. Because she was not vaccinated, they did not offer that. Hear me, warriors. This is a needless tragedy. Her parents requested these breathing treatments 4 different times because she was not vaccinated. The hospital refused to do so. She contracted measles in the hospital. Hello. No place is safe when we're not being intentional in taking back our power and beefing up our immune system and knowing what our rights are, because you have the right. These doctors work for you. Hear me, warriors. These doctors work for you. They work for you. And when you request something, they're required by law to honor it or find you a different facility. Now, vaccine shed is real and it kills. This is a perfect example. Now, moving on. If you're just joining us, I'm going to show you my why. He is now a teenager, and he was a bright, beautiful, hitting every milestone child, crawling early, walking early, talking early, until that 22-month well child visit where I held him down and he received the MMR, the measles, mumps, rubella live vaccine. He was never the same, and our life imploded. Now, if this has not happened to you, hallelujah. As of this recording, 1 in 24 boys diagnosed on the autism spectrum. Guys, this is a pandemic of epic proportion. And we are here to say we will be silent no more. Now, if you are just joining us, please let us know in the chat where you're chiming in from. Hey, guys, good to see you. And we are here to say together, we are informed and stronger than ever. Hey, guys. Oh, I know it's so sad and senseless. I agree. And if you threw a dart at the U.S., we're right in the middle. And our neighboring state, Texas, which is, bigger than most of Europe, had a free vaccine clinic. And the shed from that free vaccine clinic, because the measles, mumps, rubella, MMR, is a combination of multiple live vaccines, and it sheds up to 4 weeks. Hear me. It sheds up to 4 weeks. Now, if you have gotten a vaccine on this list, I'm going to show it real quick. You need to know that each of these sheds 4 to 6 weeks. We have measles, mumps, rubella, rotavirus, smallpox, chickenpox, and yellow fever. Now, that's just a partial list. That's not every list. And we're not even touching the flu shot. So hear me. We will do this a series on this, and I will post the links so that you can look at this data yourself. Moms are tired and moms are done. We're done being silent, and we're exhausted of feeling unseen, unheard, and labeled crazy. I see you. Hear me, warriors. I see you. You're not alone. And together, we're kicking this in the teeth. Okay. Now, what if you've already gotten a vaccine and you're around people and you're concerned? Well, anyone with a compromised immune system, and this is usually in section 7 of the 2-point font of the massive 12-fold insert for these vaccines, it's saying if anyone is immunocompromised, make sure you just avoid being around them. That's, children, pregnant women, people going through cancer treatments, anything like that. And if you have a list of symptoms that you didn't have before you received the most recent vaccines, know that you can detox from that. There's spike protein detoxes that work. Now, I have nothing to gain by sharing all of this except to know that I can't live with myself if I am not sharing scientific proven facts that vaccines shed and vaccines can lead to serious neurological issues and sometimes death. Now, is that happy talk? No, I'm not here to be a cheerleader or Miss Congeniality. I'm here to let you know you're not alone. And I don't want any family to know the devastation and the heartbreak we've experienced. Okay, now you've already gotten the vaccine. Take a quick screenshot. If you've recently had a live attenuated vaccine, that means a weakened form of the pathogen, it may be a good idea to avoid close contact with immunocompromised people in the days after your vaccination. Additionally, frequent hand washing during this time is also important. I can't make this up, guys. I took the information right from the CDC, the NIH, and the inserts and just made it into pretty slides. And nobody talks about this. So we're here to shed light and put some oxygen on the subject. Oh, yes. Hey, Nettie from Florida. Thank you for being here. Anthony from DC. I really appreciate you guys. And, we've gone through this being a retired military family. This is rocking our world. We have a friend of our family that they're like friends that have become family through this detox journey because they've been our medical people. And she was in the army. I mean, sorry, in the Air Force in the 1990s, lined up to get the vaccine to go to the Gulf War. Now, you guys remember this. If you don't, you've probably studied it in school. And then was injured, subsequently injured in a training accident, was not able to go to the Gulf War, but she had already gotten the vaccine. Guess what she ended up with? Gulf War syndrome. It didn't come from being in the Gulf War. It came from the vaccines. Now, I know this is a hot topic. Everyone's politicized it. I have nothing to gain. In fact, I've lost 30-year-long friends and family from this. I am okay with that because I am here for such a time as this to step into that calling and walk in purpose so that no family, no family has to go through or experience what we have. Now, what I love is that I am seeing my son become his own advocate. And we have this thing in our house. If anyone comes at you with a needle, unless I'm there saying, buddy, this will save your life, you have permission to headbutt them right in the nose. You will not get in trouble. And I took out my weekly B12 shot. He goes, no, just like that. And now he doesn't have a great vocabulary, but we heard that. And we heard that because he is learning to advocate for himself. Now, quick recap. If you're just joining us, we're talking about the shed of live attenuated vaccines. That means simply a weakened live version of the pathogen that vaccine is marketed to protect us against. And shed is when it shares it with everyone else. Please check out the other videos we talked about with the free vaccine clinic in Lubbock and all the children that have been affected by that. Now, I don't have all the answers. What I do know is that we can ask questions. The truth does not at all mind or get uncomfortable or defensive when questions start flying. Lies do. Hear me, warriors. The truth doesn't mind being questioned, but lies do. And I am a firm believer, follow the money. Who is buying second and third homes because of this CDC schedule? I can show you. One of those companies, $65 plus million in profit margin. Now, I don't believe there's a boogeyman or a demon around every corner. I do know that it has recently come to light that all 72 childhood vaccines have not been safety tested. And if that doesn't break your heart, hello, let's wake up, because I know that together we are stronger. Now, remember, I will put the links in the repost, and know that you are not alone. I see you, warrior. I hear you, and together we are stronger. Remember, the Warrior Nation, your source for truth, transparency, and trust.